And we're back and different. Oh god, we're not Teggy, we're not Yoki. What happened? Who are you? Who am I? It's 2025 SLOLCS, that's what. Whew, baby.
Yeah, 2025 SLOLCS season, second game. Not Teggy, not Yoki, but hey, we're bringing our own class, our own style, our own character to the booth. It's Kwanzek, it is Gusto, and we are ready to get underway here. We got ours coming out. We'll get to actually maybe look at a draft the draft that has happened that will wait for the spectator delay to come through. What happened to drafts on stream? Oh, we are going to draft. Look at that.
And no, it is not Team 1 versus Team 3. Promise. Or is it?
No, we're team 4 versus team 11 here.
Okay. It's one of one. We're not that far in. We are seeing the results of this draft. We are seeing on the side of Team 4, it is Dr. Mundo, Pantheon, Victor, Misfortune, and Nautilus versus Ilaoi, Wukong, Silas, something, and Milio.
On the ADC pick. Yep. This is I'm really curious. The ADC with the team comp that is picked by Team 4, they're not gonna have a whole lot of peel. They'll have a Milio ball, but that's about it. Something self-sustaining. There you go. That Xayah is exactly answers the call that I was referring to.
Yep, that is the Xayah call.
Very essential. This draft has already happened, so it's just formalities at this point, as we will get locked in and underway. Good to go here.
Correct. I don't know what they banned. I'm not exactly sure what's going on with what, but it is I'm okay.
Flip over.
So, what are we thinking so far? Are we excited about any picks? Are we worried about any picks or anything like that?
I think it's very obvious the type of strategy that at least Team 4 is going for with the MF pick, with the Nautilus pick. You throw in Victor in there as well. And some beefy front line of Mundo who can just press R and instantly heal to full despite being 200 health and about to die. It's a very team fight oriented comp, something that you're going to work for objectives. The one thing I want to look out for is if Team 11 can prioritize grubs, having that Ilaoi and forcing somebody to match, I think, will be a massive thorn in Team 4's side, but we'll see how that plays out. I think the objective prioritization, look at that word, I had to work through every single syllable there.
Yeah, you got it.
It will be very important for both of these junglers as we get underway.
I'm certainly interested to see how much pressure is going to be put on. I know it's a Silas versus Victor mid lane with Victor's nerfs recently, alongside the fact that Silas is quite infamous for being a very integral wing pick for some teams, but we are seeing that paired with an Ilaoi who could be put on the backswing if he doesn't get enough sustain or she doesn't get enough momentum early on, and against Mundo that could be very tough. So hopes are that either mid lane or potentially the jungle can pick that up later down the line.
Yeah, that's a really important 2 cents for you to throw in there. I think how effective the Ilaoi is early into the Mundo, I think will determine a lot of the success late game for that team, because, Mundo scaling on that champ is nearly as good as the scaling on somebody like Cassidy just in the top lane. So being able to punish early will be very crucial, although Ilaoi, for the longer sustained fights that you might see, or lane phases between backs you might see between her and Mundo, mana may become an issue at some point there, which we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to try and piecemeal it all together. I know the bot lane is gonna have an interesting time. I am a personal big fan of Milio support when it comes to keeping up with ADCs, but it's gonna be we just need to see who draws first blood. If we can get the if we can look into getting those tier 3 boots initiating, that's what it's all about in this season. It's Noxus We're seeing those turrets, we're seeing those grubs, we're seeing Otacon attacking.
I've said Otacon. That's the way I'm saying
I,
it. I don't know if we've gotten a official pronunciation report
yeah,
from Riot though.
it's gotta be Otacon. Yeah,
Yeah.
because attacking just sounds stupid from all angles.
Agreed. Agreed.
So
Who knows though? Watch there be some report that comes out later that is like it is attacking, and you are going to be attacking that objective. It's yeah,
gonna be
no.
attacking the objective. We'll see if Otacon comes into play. I know that the ideas of pieces of candy on the ground, aka the flowers blooming, just make it so much more interesting to see how much stacking is possible. We could see a Fire Drake coming in. We could see all sorts of craziness happen, or we could just see more people dying to Baron. Who knows if we'll keep up from the last game.
Honestly, there's no better way to encapsulate what the 2025 season of SLOLCS will be than that opening game. How that played out and how that finished. Oh man.
But oh boy. Yes, I see you in the chat, Arrow and Connie. We will be getting closer to the game. We are just waiting for the client and every last piece of League of Legends to be put on the screen right now. So we shall bring you the awesome League of Legends soon enough.
Yeah, I am in the game, so I can give some form of play-by-play until we're set up production-wise. Look, it seems like we'll be good to go here underway. A very standard setup here. No level 1 shenaniganery. Okay, I will not do that. We'll be waiting. Looking back at the draft, there are very easy and clear wombo combos to identify on the side of Team 4. I mean, a deep Nautilus R on the back line with a MF ult, you throw in a Victor W and an ult on top of that. That Victor ult could get to the size of your entire screen before you really realize what's happening. So.
Oh yeah, and I'm very much anticipating the Silas steals Nautilus ult or some kind of crazy plays happening within that. I'm also anticipating some kind of CC removal from Milio ults, or potentially seeing some kind of crazy backlining potential coming in from the Mundo if they can get squishy enough, or I should say become as much of a bullet sponge as they can with things like Heartsteel, Thorn Mail, or even if we go into Blood Mail, which is also a possibility.
True, and I think the new Heartsteel changes overall favor Mundo based off the full health scaling as opposed to bonus health, and there is some fun itemization that now works their way. And Xayah, she can definitely execute people who are weaker, but if Mundo gets to a certain point, I don't know how that man ever dies.
Yeah, that's how he goes where he pleases.
That's exactly it, yeah.
You can nerf him, you can buff him, you can put him in one character. You just can't deal with Mundo, and it's gonna be interesting to see if they can shred him early on or in the mid game. But in the late game, even if you have a build that's entirely centered around HP dealing, which none of the offensive lineup that I saw really can build into any kind of big anti-heal or anything like Leandri's HP reduction. So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of burn or potential armor pen could be possible against the Mundo.
Yeah, no, it's definitely going to be a crucial buy because there's no other form of getting to him in that comp. Silas, I mean, it'd be a really inefficient purchase to go something like Leandries or Blackfire Torch on them. It's only gonna be the Xayah, but the itemization for like the lone tank as opposed to everybody else. Maybe they take a view of like, if we kill the other 4 people, then we never have to worry about the Mundo. We can just like ignore him and go on about our day. Let him go where he pleases, and we will also go where we please.
We'll go around. There's no need to worry about him. And it's not entirely wrong. Top lane tanks can certainly sympathize with the fact that just because you have a lot of health and just because you can survive a lot does not necessarily mean you can dole out a lot of damage or be as disruptive. I can attest to playing a lot of Amumu and realizing that, oh, I can stop things, but you run away from me, you have any amount of speed, you can just skedaddle away from any attempts at like finishing him off.
Yep, it's I mean, we've talked about it so much at this point ad nauseum that it does feel like Mundo will be the difference maker in this
Yeah.
team. Just comp wise, this does seem like a very early draft difference, and it'll be up to Team 11 to see if they can execute and play more so for split pushing and side lanes. And I do think we are getting underway finally in the game here.
Oh, beautiful.
We'll get to see some actual League of Legends gameplay. That's what everybody. Oh my
Oh
lord!
my goodness gracious. Oh, it's beautiful. Gaze upon the beauty of this game. Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
there you are. We got a blur of a rainbow, but we are officially
yes.
underway here in
Yes.
this game.
We are underway. Looking back at the drafts again, seeing some good start, potential invade that has gone wrong. All five members of Team 4 looking to interrupt. Stern managing to avoid a very crucial Nautilus hook, whilst everyone else is going about their business. Not seeing anything unusual to start. Pretty standard fare when it comes to item choices. Interesting to see the Illaoi start off though, because she's not running shield, which I don't normally see.
Especially the Cole pick as well. It's very greedy, but it is understandable when you're into a Mundo. You know, a Mundo who's really not going to pressure you early in lane phase, just look to collect their CS and go on about their day. The Illaoi having that Cole maybe can help match some form of scaling as we get later into this game. The Flash being burned from Wukong, it's something. I don't know if it really matters though. By the time Wukong will need it again or like be forced to flash, my assumption is that it'll be past 5 minutes at that point.
Right, and at this point, seeing some early pressure coming in from Ghoul Freak and Paris, seeing some more offense coming in from Team 4. It is a solid start. They need to put on the pressure, start getting starting that early farm, and with someone like Victor can certainly help poke out, as well as the Mundo Q just being oppressive against the Illaoi. But that is sort of the nature of these matchups, is that sometimes you need to really force poke, and it's gonna be very crucial for these games.
We'll briefly jump back to our cams as there was, I believe, an Experian email that showed up on screen at one point. So here we are again, our lovely faces.
Oh no. I think I saw Emilio melting. I saw my life flash before my eyes. It was all in Skittles rainbow, and I'm scared. I'm scared.
Hopefully we're back at it again. It's gonna be an invade onto the Wukong, so maybe they are taking advantage of that flash. It'll be a flash coming out from the Pantheon and first blood over to the Pantheon, which, with all due respect, I have zero clue how to pronounce that name. If somebody can educate me.
We're gonna see Frucla get finished off by Paris, seeing that optimal placement. Frucla trying their best to, I believe that's how you say it, Frucla trying their best to help out Stern, but just having that rough and tumble. Starting off with 2 kills in the beginning, starting off with that 1,000 gold lead just at the 3.5-minute mark, which is gonna be very crucial. But it may get outpaced later on once people start getting their ults, like Fruclid coming in against the Yoki. Oh no, he's gonna try and finish him off. He's no mana, but the camera's just going away, and Yoki manages to live.
Yeah, avoiding the stun attached to the recast of Fruclid's E was essential there for Yoki. If that connects, they're surely dead, but with that dodge coming through, or rather the whiff from Fruclid, depending on which way you look at it, that will be an avoided kill, which would have put things back in favor, or at least relatively even gold-wise for Team 11. An early 1K deficit we're seeing already here for Team 11, which only 4.5 minutes in the game is not something you want to see by any means.
No, not at all. And we're seeing mid lane going in the back and forth. We know that both of them are just not having a great time with one another with Fruitlet. And Sharome just getting backed into a corner a little bit against the tower, while Fruitlet and Yoki are trying to go back and forth. That laser is just so difficult. No matter how much it gets nerfed, that Victor laser is just oppressive against a champ like Sylas.
Yeah, it's a very difficult lane to play if you are Fruitlet, because you're like melee versus range in general is going to be difficult, and you have to avoid taking too much poke before you can trade back that same amount. If you can't get on top, you're going to win the trade, but that is the difficulty there. We'll see a couple of full clears coming out here and some pings on the side of team number 4. It might be a look top side here for Pantheon. They'll be on vision though, but
we've seen Fira trying their best to get the tentacles out, getting put into the grass. Sharome and the Pantheon just going on in. Sharome getting weakened down into such low health, but it doesn't matter. The Pantheon is coming in, getting that feat of warfare to start off the run. But Fruitlet just manages to barely get away while Stern comes in for the gank on our Victor. It is going to be a rough time to see that, but they're finally trying to come back after that terrifying gank against Stern. Ooh, baby.
And a couple of traded kills here. I'm very surprised that the Alawi didn't try to move. Fira just watched the Pantheon walk in, held flash, and assumed they could win. I don't know how close they were to their level 6. Maybe that was the deciding factor there. We'll see more top lane trading with one another. Bot looking to set up their reset, and everybody going their own ways. They're gonna spend that gold and opt to go. It seems like the pings are coming out towards Dragon for either side, so we might have some early objective focus here.
Oh, definitely. We're seeing plenty of pings, a lot of important looks. Definitely going to be needing some of that vision. They don't need Stern, they don't need Gamma. I'm not 100% sure of the symbolage of the Pantheon, or the exact name. I think it's Inaptia.
You know more than I would.
I believe
I've used the symbol before. I just don't know.
It's Greek letters. We are seeing Sway going in, trying to use that, trying to pressure out Ghoulfrey, going into low health. Paris coming in with that hook against Mini, slowing them down, slowly whittling down, but Sway just managing barely to miss out on Ghoulfrey, and Mini trying to finish the job, but we saw both ults, we saw Ghoulfrey coming in, while Paris just barely losing out, but we see Fluke coming in, trying to finish off the Nautilus. We are seeing that Nautilus ult get stolen, which is what I was talking about before. Nautilus ult is just so terrifying, especially for a combo champion. But we are seeing Yoki and the Pantheon just coming in. Flukelid trying to get away, bobbing and weaving between turrets is incredibly dangerous, especially for someone like Sylas. Does have a pretty decent hitbox. We're not talking Kennen or Teemo size where you can slip between the turrets here.
He's gonna live though. Look, he found his way around. It was the Victor and Yoki decided to stop chasing, opting for the wave to get that under rather than losing some gold himself. So, you know, that's a psychological question for you. Would you rather or philosophical rather, do you want the guaranteed gold, or do you want the chance at getting more? As it's going to be a Pantheon ulting in. Emilio's deleted Xayah running away. She does have the feathers. Feathers coming out. That's going to be literal 1 health. The TP coming out, but with the delay here from Fruklid, surely they're just going to get jumped the second they show up. We're back on some top lane trading. It does seem like the bot lane shenanigans will be over. It'll be a killed Emilio and a flash and an ult used from Xayah, which means that Swoo in dangerous territory heading forward here for the next 5 minutes.
Oh, we are seeing Fruitlet coming in on Ghoulfreak. Doesn't have any ways. It gets slowed down so hard by that by Silas's W. We are seeing Fruitlet trying to come in and disrupt the Dragon's min take from Inapt in Paris, but Minnie's also trying to support, propping him the shields, trying to do the Milio things. He's a really solid when it comes to dealing with that, but we are going to be seeing first Ocean Drake be taken by Team 4.
Starting off with, I mean, they've been in the driving seat of this game ever since we got off started. The invade, getting the early Wukong flash, and then capitalizing on that later, invading when Wukong was clearing his red at level 3. They only continue to expand on their lead, have about that objective and the 4 kills underneath their belt. And the Gold's in halfway decent spots as well. Pantheon has a couple of them, and 3 over to the EDC. That's where you would want it at least early, so you can start snowballing and expanding on this lead, ending it before there's really any real concern.
Yeah, we're trying to allow these junglers to go back and forth. The Pantheon already has that bounty on his head, a full Sterix to start the first full item of the game. We are seeing Stern, however, coming on Shiromi, but this is a Mundo, by the way. Just because you're going in, trying to whittle him down, using that Wukong ult is just not going to be enough. Even after he's tethered by the tentacles, just having so much health and having that early Bramble Vest is just going to be so difficult for Fira to actually be able to land too much damage, and she's already taking little bits and pieces from his Q. It's just not looking too solid for top right now, but what are we thinking about mid?
Yeah, the Victor just abusing the ranged advantage here. Fruitlet constantly hovering around a third to a half health. And a couple plates over to the Victor as well. There's posturing coming out from Grubs. It'll be a trade first mid lane, but Fruitlet missing the chains will just mean they're going to fall, and they burn the flash as well. It'll be a second top lane as Fira will fall to the Pantheon sneaking up, and those will be free Grubs over to team number 4. They moved up Paris on the Nautilus as well, who will make their trip back down river. But this is devastating right now if you're Team 11 and you're desperately searching for a way back in.
Oh my goodness, we have found out who is in Paris. Paris is in Paris. He's just coming up here. Nautilus is such an oppressive character. If you can actually get to the roaming potential around Nautilus, he is oppressive, with Ghoulfreak managing to go 3-1, starting off with Bloodthirster, just meaning that she's gonna have a lot of sustain to go after. Seeing the Blackfire, seeing the Locket, all sorts of sustain and potential longevity with this team right now. They are playing it smart, trying to understand that whittling down that Alawi and the Wukong are going to be some dangerous feats later down the line.
Yeah, we'll see. Could be. It's a gate potential, but Ghoulfreak is so strong at this point that they could 2v3. A 2v4 is a different story, though, as they're posturing Fruitlet down here as well. Pantheon looking to go cover. It's a greedy. It's greedy by Paris, looking to drop Vision. Knowing that they could be there, but the flash is enough to get them out. So it's a lot of resources committed for only the payout of a support flash. And meanwhile, it's going to be Yoki collecting almost another plate. The Pantheon in Nate. Oh my stutter's coming through here. With the Greek letters, I'm getting tripped up. Napier coming through, getting the reset, and now even more trading here mid lane.
Ooh, but we're seeing Yoki fighting back. Both of them getting massively chunked of Fruitlet just having a harder time managing the combo, but we are seeing Inapt coming in, getting off that stun, and the solid Pantheon ult to finish off Fruitlet. That is the type of jungler that we are wanting to see right now. That is what you were talking about, the driver's seat. They're going into Gear 3. They are not fully ramped up yet, but they are certainly coming onto the aggression right now, and we are seeing Otacon going towards the top, with Frira having a bit of a rough time with Jerome, but she's getting healed back up. using that grasp of the Undying while Stern comes in to try and whittle down the Mundo. He's ulted. You see Mundo does what he does, but he gets slapped with Stern coming in for the finish of the second cast of his ult, and first turret goes down.
It was a lot of commitment, but they will get there and maybe add in a second. Fruklid's gonna steal the Victor ult. And Yoki is just gonna walk out for free. That stun connecting and the E cooldown a bit too long there for Fruklid. Now bot lane, Goldfreak just poking him down. Paris doesn't have an angle for a hook and opts not to take it, but they are holding the depth charge as well. Fruklid roaming down with that reset coming out from Yoki means this is going to be a 3v2. They engage onto Paris. Paris has to drop the death charge to try to get out, but it's going to be too little, too late. The hook going to hit the terrain. They'll get the refund. Goldfreak wraps around to ult on the back end. Paris will fall, and they're going to use the blast cone to get out for free. So a good roam timer there by Fruklid, able to capitalize on when Yoki wasn't in lane off of that trade. And those are the types of wins you're looking for if you're Team 11, considering the deficit you find yourself in only 15 minutes into this game.
It's a 4.5k gold difference. We're seeing 2 bounties, 1 from mid lane, but we are seeing Fruklid trying to come in and Apt just managing to whittle them down, but they are just so low. That Blackfire is slowly whittling away at Sylas. They don't have enough sustain at this point, but we are seeing the first heart steal coming in from Fira, the Alawi. We are not seeing that from the Mundo. He is building seemingly Thornmail first, but it's Swifties as well, which is an interesting choice against the Alawi slow.
Yeah, I think the Swifties on Mundo, especially if you're running Ghost TP, are more standard than you would think, because you get the benefit of just being able to walk out of whatever you want. And the movement speed to run around, get your Heartsteel procs. It gives you a lot of viability, and movement speed is one of the most underrated stats in the game. Goldfreak gonna ran down there a bit too shoved mid lane, and their counterpart in Paris will also be slain in the bot river. So it's been about a few minutes at this point where it is Team 4 falling to Team 11. They might get one back here on Swoo. They will do that. The Xayah will fall, and now it's a desperate 1v1
tug of war.
Both of them gonna walk out fine, just doing top lane things as they're waiting for their cooldowns to come back. Maybe Fira will fall short here after missing that E. Gonna heal with the W and those tentacles slapping down. Get the Heartsteel proc, and that'll be enough to kill it. Kill the Mundo. And so a cluster of action happening here. We're not done yet. Pantheon sinking in. They don't want to burn the flash, but that will be all she wrote for Lokia on the Alawi. And I think after all said and done, it's about 1,000 gold gained back in favor of Team 11. So things looked rough, but they're back in it, and that goes to show with objective bounties now officially off as well.
Yep, we are seeing Herald getting attacked. It's going to be pretty much free for 4. No one is able to really steal or have solid enough vision on it. With all of these gold deficits and all of these things happening back and forth, 5k is going to be pretty decent, pretty difficult to come back from at this point. What they're probably going to need to do is disrupt Dragon Soul towards the later points. They need to start getting those souls. They have the solid enough Wukong, 3-1 Wukong. We are seeing some potential invades, just some general disruption. We're just needing to see more objectives be taken. They have no towers down. They have only 7 kills, and they're just in this deficit that is causing such huge gaps to be made. But we are seeing some damage going on Fira. Saltman, Ghoulfreak just been getting smacked by the Heartsteel, but it's not going to be enough. Paris managing to land the pop-up, and we're seeing the combination of Misfortune ult combined with the smack of the car from Mundo. Just coming in for the big ol' slap of the suitcase. Just gonna lean to solid finisher.
Yoki jumping on Stern, Cabbage Iron here. As the Herald will come out top lane, this will be a top tower that is all but secured, especially with the Mundo Demolish proccing. Some more trading happening in bot lane. This Wukong trying desperately to just keep this wave out from the tower so there's no damage taken there, knowing that it has to be Alawi to address, and they don't respawn in yet another 5 minutes. And Paris is doing the same, but in mid lane doing whatever Nautilus can
Yeah.
with the Riptide just to get as much of that wave as possible. But it'll be turret gold going over to Swoo and Mini for the bot lane duo of Team 11.
We're seeing tower defense happening. We are seeing people coming in. Fruglid taking the Nutman Pantheon ult from earlier, managing to land that stun, landing all of his Qs and Ws onto Inap. We're seeing the Milio ball coming in against Inap, getting flattened to the wall. We're seeing the big stun. Viol managing to land it, finishing off Pantheon. Paris getting whittled down by the Stormman, with Yogi managing to slow down Sway and Stern with the Storm, but it's not going to be enough against this massive Wukong ult. Jerome just trying to come in and smack everybody up, but we're just seeing Fira managing to whittle down Gulfric and Jerome. We are just seeing the massive upset. That is the first ace of the game. Oh, that is the turnaround that they were looking for right there, folks.
I'm shocked Team 11 won that fight. I mean, they started off winning, but that was because Gulfreak and Jerome hadn't joined the fight yet. Gulfreak gets a little bit, the positioning a bit too haphazard and walks into the slamming Alawi tentacles, and that's what opens the door for that fight to swing as wildly as it has. And all of a sudden, we have ourselves a game. Objectives still in the favor of Team 4, but only about a 3,000 gold difference between these two teams, and momentum strongly in Team 11's favor.
We are certainly hoping to see some potential swing back. A lot of the items are pretty standard, not really too much of anything absurd coming in from both teams. Seeing the necessary rocket belt of Silas, seeing Xayah going in for Essence Reaver and Quick Blades. Nothing really too out of the ordinary yet. I am very much concerned though, seeing as how there isn't really much in the way of dealing with anything tank-wise. Not too much in the way of armor pen, not too much in the way of any sort of magic pen either, but this is going to be a free Otacon for Team 4. They are just focusing on those objectives, and it is winning them so far at the cost of Cloud Drake.
And I think that's a trade that you're happy to take.
Oh,
sure. In the driving seat that you are in. Yes, you would love to have Soul Point, but getting a free GA where you can really, it's a ticket to int, essentially. You can walk in, you can do whatever you want, dive between 7 different towers, and come off without giving the opposition any real sort of damage. And we're seeing that right here. Diving between 2 towers, Death Charge coming out, the Pantheon ult as well, the MF ult, it's a wombo combo of immaculate proportions. And on top of that, you have the Victor damage, the ult slowly growing, and they don't get anything in return. Team 11, they're able to send 2 back to base, but they don't get anything in terms of gold.
Oh, it's so tragic. Oh, quite tragic. They may not get the full kill gold, but it is still valuable gold nonetheless. They are going to need every ounce that they can get. They're now at a 7k difference. Fira trying their best to tower defend to try and help out, but they just lose out on the inhibitor. Inap and Yoki doing their best to escape. Inap getting a big smack of the Heartsteel. They are at nearly 400 stacks already at 23 minutes, which is going to be potentially the game changer for Team 11. They are really relying on Stern and Fira to make these team fight differences, with a little bit of with Sway's damage also being in the backline.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be a pick strategy coming out here for Team 11, because after that Otacon swing play, there's just so much gone in the form of turret gold as well as champion gold. This could be it here. Fruglid stealing the MF ult. The Xayah bearing down with those feathers. There is the ult that's going to come out. They only get the Nautilus, but Paris is a big enough bounty. It is a decent chunk that they can get in any play that is positive, is what you would want to see if you're a Team 11 fan.
We are hoping to see more of these positive plays. We're needing to see if Pultman Team 11 is going to be able to pull it off, we're seeing all the ults. All we're just missing is Fruclid's steal earlier from Ghoul Freak. Hopefully that was worth it early on, not having the potential misfortune ult, since there is a cooldown time between each steal that you can make. And I'm hoping to see if Shurimo or Shurimo or Inapt is going to be able to try to integrate themselves into a bigger team fight. They're nearly taking down the side towers, but it is just going to be focusing on ARAM at this point.
Yeah, it's really up to Team 4 to press the advantage. This is your window to end. You're so far ahead. You don't want to let them get the small little kills here and there, get the tower gold, whatever the case may be. Wait for this Baron to spawn. I think you're strong enough to force it and do it off spawn. And then just group and no need to drag this game out longer than you need to. Fira working on the bottom tower here, and it looks like they are one step ahead of me. The vision being deep vision set up for Team 4 in the red side jungle of Team 11.
We are seeing a lot of action going on up top. Fira and Sharom going back and forth on that with that tug of war, but Frucla trying to initiate, slowing down the Synapse. We are seeing the whittling down, but the hook coming in on Mini, but gets shredded by the ult. Frucla managing to steal the Nautilus ult, potentially for a team fight later. Most likely going to be in their base. The Nautilus ult is going to be very integral for those combos, but it is going to be very difficult to see if any of them can come back. And Fira and Sharom just having those hard steel smacks at each other.
Yeah, hoping to get some sort of demolish proc off right now is Fira, but Sharom doing a good enough job of clearing this wave. Will get the execute on the clone there, and as this is all happening, it's Team 4 content to take the Baron after forcing Team 11 further into their own base and just trying to salvage, get some sort of cross map value is going to be Stern Cabbage chasing down the Mundo. Will they get the kill? They will. They'll get that and the tower, but now they're going to get ran down with Team 4 coming with Baron minions in tow instantly. It'll be Stern Cabbage in the Wukong melted. And it feels like with the Baron in their pocket. Oh, maybe something onto Paris?
Oh, we may see Paris trying to go in, take whatever vision they can. They're using the death charge on Sway. Mini trying to slow down Ghoul Freak and Inapt, but it's just not going to really be enough to slow them down yet. Both of them, everyone's looking to clear vision, take vision, teleporting in from Fira, trying to go in. Yoki getting whittled down, going in with the 4v4, but the cage is not going to be enough to slow them down. He's going to take poke, but he doesn't die. We are seeing an Inapt Ghoul Freak and Shoromo, Paris trying their best to just survive. Seeing so much damage happen, but no one's really getting forced down. Everyone's managing to escape so far. But Paris going in trying to whittle down, but he just doesn't he just overextends, just gets caught up against the red side.
I am shocked that Team 11 can manage to exist in this fight to the point that they have. Despite the Baron, and this is going to be caught out by Frucla, the Mundo will just be able to run them down. Maybe some help from Mini. Gets a little bit of peel there. And they will walk out, though, in exchange for their lives, for a continuation of this game. They will give up the third dragon, which, if this game doesn't end before then, it'll be Team 4 on Soul Point, a Cloud Soul, which, for the comp difference, would be very difficult to work around if you're Team 11.
Oh, and we can only imagine the power of Cloud Soul combining with something like Yoki just being able to spam the abilities, Ghoul Freak managing to go in and out, weaving all of their abilities, Mundo just going wherever he pleases, such as now smacking Fira in the back of the head with Yogi managing to finish them off with the laser. We are just seeing Mini and Sway Swoo just trying their best to tower defend, but with those Baron minions, the Baron buff still on Ghoul Freak and Yogi and Inapt, it's just not going to happen. The only one who really lost out on that was Paris, and it's not like they were really too worried about that anyways. Seeing the towers go down.
as their base continues to get taken. The Sylas and the Wukong both going to be able to get these backs off, but they'll lose at least 2 inhibs forward, and this could be the game. The MF ult coming, the MF ult coming out here by Goldfreak, trying to chunk down Zaya. Only gets about half of that health bar. Will this be the final fight? Can Team 11 put up a stand? Fruka going in, instantly getting deleted. Has to drop that Zonya's. The allowing was pretty big though. It's a lot of chunk damage, but everybody is going to fall down in game. Number 2 for our Saturday slate is handedly in favor of team number 4.
Oh my goodness, this is the mini. Just has to watch in terror as his foes just manage to destroy everything. The massive expanding storm from Yoki. What a way to finish it off. 26 and 15. Oh,
It's
disgusting.
there was a time, there's a series of kills that were set up by Team 11 that got things remotely close. I think we remarked on like the 3,000 gold difference, but trading the one dragon for the Otacon with the massive gold advantage they generated out of that. Team 11 never left their base following that press. Only had to concede Baron. There wasn't a chance at sealing it, and it was one domino after another that fell, and eventually the base was gone.
It's all about those objectives, managing to land those 2 early Dragon Souls, pairing that with seemingly sacrificing Paris in exchange for pushing them back, taking on that Baron Soul alongside that Cloud Drake. They didn't even reach fourth Dragon kill because it just wasn't necessary. They just had enough pressure, had those Baron minions to push on bot lane, managing to crush out mid lane, and it just all led to the moment where even though Fruclid was able to go in and try to do something with those ults, it just wasn't enough.
Yep, so that will be our second streamed game done and dusted. It's a W in the win column for team number 4, and team 11 gonna have to go back to the drawing board, figuring out some sort of changes, some draft strategy, some new adjustments headed into tomorrow's slate of games. We will be back here on this channel at 1 p.m. for our 2 hosted games there tomorrow. Thank you all for tuning in and watching. Thank you to Gusto in the booth here with me, and Tarsa, the production. It's been an adventure, that's for sure. But you guys enjoy the rest of your evenings, and thank you.
Bye-bye.